Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Brian. CVT transmissions. I absolutely hate them. However, they keep coming out with them and keep trying to improve the function and the durability of the CVT transmissions. So I believe we're stuck with them for many makes and models, actually. Today, this video is going to give you some tips and tricks on how to make your CVT transmission lasts longer than any other out there. Let's get started with the video. The CVT transmission, what is it? This model here has it. There's many other models, years and makes that I will go over with you that has the CVT transmission, and that is a continuously variable transmission. It's an automatic trans that uses a system of two V-shaped pulleys connected by a metal belt or a chain rather than fixed gears. It provides an infinite range of gear ratios smoothly, so they say, allowing the engine to operate at its most efficient RPM for any speed. Obviously, a lot of this stuff a lot of the engineering is pinpointed towards fuel economy. And the CVT is said to result in smoother acceleration and better fuel economy. So that's the idea behind it. I just don't like it. CVT transmissions, very involved, a lot of moving parts inside the casing. Chains, belts, pulleys, cones, plastic guides, a lot can go wrong. So obviously, PM or preventive maintenance is going to be the way to go. Once something starts to go wrong with the transmission that it is noticeable, it's already too late. So today's tips and tricks are things you can do to your vehicle from new 20, 40, 60, 80, 100,000 miles before something goes wrong to extend the lifetime, life cycle, and reliability of that component in your vehicle. We're going to view where the CVT transmission is on this particular vehicle and many others. If you're standing in front of it, it's going to be to the right of the motor. And you'll see, so here is the oil pan and the drain plug for it. Then there's a cross member, and then right on the other side is going to be from here over your CVT transmission. And this is the pan for that CVT. We're going to go over the exact way that I would recommend to maintain these CVT transmissions to get the most out of them and get them to last longer than any other on the roadway. So if you don't know if you have a CVT transmission in your vehicle, revert to the owner's manual, or you can Google it and find it online. The most common models with the CVT transmissions are your Asian vehicles such as Nissan, Subaru, Honda, Toyota, and Mitsubishi. However, the domestic car manufacturers have adopted it as well, and you would be looking at Buick Encore, Chevrolet Malibu, Trailblazer, your Infinities, Fords, Escape, Maverick hybrids, a whole bunch of domestic vehicles. So revert to that owner's manual or Google it online, and you will find if yours has that dreaded CVT transmission. Guys, let's start up top. Your CVT transmission should provide a smooth, seamless acceleration without knowing that you're shifting from one gear to another. It should be quiet, it should be linear. That is a healthy CVT transmission with no issues. When you start to notice bucking or shuddering, whining, just a feeling of slipping or overall something that you can feel while you're in the seat of your vehicle or hear it, that's when the symptoms are coming. They're actually letting you know that there's some issues with the CV transmission and it's already too late. Not a lot of people work on CVT transmissions. Your traditional transmissions, there are shops all around. AMCO, there are local ones. Some of your backyard garages can even rebuild some automatic transmissions. The CVTs, mostly they are rebuilt factory manufactured ones that can be swapped out. There are some shops on the West Coast that will rebuild your transmission, your CVT transmission, but in my area, I can't find any. Maintenance and the care of your vehicle mechanically is going to be paramount as to how it performs and how long it performs well. This one here, not all of them do, but this one here actually has a fill plug and a dipstick to check and keep an eye on the level. Not all of them do. Some are sealed, which means there's no dipstick. There is just a drain plug on the bottom and a fill plug on the side, maybe a quarter of the way up the casing. This one here, we can actually pull out, and you can see there is a, it may be a little tough to see, but there is a hot and cold level on there. This transmission fluid for the CVT is a yellowish bluish. This is clean. I just maintained it, and it is full. And when it smells like it's burnt or turns into a darker color, guys, it is way past due to change it. I like to change mine every 20 to 30,000 miles. And what I like to do, guys, is something called a spill and fill. So we get it up in the air, or you can jack it, or you could put it on ramps, or get under it any way you can. Pull over an area where there's a ditch and you could slide under. However you can get under there with a pan and catch it to do a spill and fill, you're going to benefit from that. And that means just dropping the plug, letting you're going to get about 4.5 quarts out of a spill and fill. It's not going to come out from everywhere, but you're going to be able to put fresh fluid in there and do that every 20 to 30,000 miles. Depending on the manufacturer, some recommend 60, 70, 80, 90,000 miles. Never wait that long. Never wait that long. Do 20 to 30,000 on a spill and fill. And then every 60,000, we're going to go over what I recommend to do. There are 2 filters on most CVT transmissions, and I'm going to show you where they are and what they do, and definitely you need to change them out and put new ones in. All right, good friends, so the first thing, pull your dipstick, wipe it off, clean it, lay it to the side. This lets air enter that portal, and the spilling or the draining process goes a whole lot easier that way. And then obviously from here we get it up in the air. I have a lift, so we're going to lift it up. When the vehicle is up in the air, you're going to come over, and again, right here is going to be the pan for the transmission. Here is the drain, and on most of them, it's going to be a 19 millimeter, and you just turn that counterclockwise, and that will drop the plug, and the fluid will spill out. Now, only about 4.5, 4.25 will spill out of there. There will still be some remaining in the bottom of the pan because that plug hole goes up about 1/4 inch. So you're going to have some on the bottom of the pan. You're also going to have some within the transmission and the body of the transmission. Let that drain out completely, and then fill about 4. What you do is you'll measure what comes out of here. And exactly what comes out is what you're going to put back in. I like to use something like this dirty old thing, and I'll spill whatever drained out of the pan into here, and then it'll tell me how many quarts have come out, and then that's exactly how many quarts go back in. It's simple. Here is some of the CVT fluid that kind of spilled down the side. It has a bluish tinge to it. It smells nasty. It's nasty to handle. And guys, when you're done with the process, get rid of that nasty stuff properly. Take it to a local parts store, AutoZone, you name it, whatever you have locally, seal it up in a container, take it over there, let them take it and recoup it, and let them recycle it or whatever they do with it. But don't spill it in the backyard, don't spill it in the trash or a dumpster. Get rid of it properly and take it to your local parts store. All right, guys, now that is just every 20 to 30,000 miles. Every 60,000, there are filters right inside this pan is one of them. Actually, it's right here. And then there's also a filter that is called external, and that's on the side of the casing. I'll show you where that is. And those need to be changed out, or one changed out and the other cleaned That depends on how far you want to go with it. You can clean the one that's inside of this pan here. It has a metal mesh screen. You can clean that out and just reuse it, or just go buy a new one. The cartridge on the side of the casing, which is external, that is one of your paper filters, kind of a circular cone. That has to be replaced. That cannot be cleaned. Let me show you where that's at. All right, so the filter with the metal mesh is right here, and it's just something about this size, about 4 to 5 inches wide and 4 inches long, about 1.5 inches deep, and it goes up into, it attaches to the transmission, and then there's an opening here with a metal mesh screen on the inside. That's where it draws fluid up from the bottom of the pan. Then there is on the other side of this motor mount, and this motor mount has to come out on this particular vehicle. That's not the case in all vehicles, but in this Mitsubishi 2017 Outlander, this has to be removed to get to that filter, because the filter is right back here in this little cylinder here. There are 4 bolts, 1, 2, and then 2 at the top, and it's right here. See if I can get you to see better. It's right there. And you cannot pull that cup off to get to the filter without removing the motor mount there. So, you know, you got to remove that, get the cup off, get the filter out of there, replace the filter, get that back on. You can support the motor with a support bar that you buy from Harbor Freight for 78 bucks. No big deal. You should be able to get this all done in about 45 minutes. When you buy the filters, ask them that they make sure to give you the gaskets for the pan and the gasket for that cup that holds the filter in there as well. And when you're finished, clean everything up, grab a can of brake fluid and spray all in and around your work area. Clean whatever fluid has spilled and has dripped down. This cross member here holds a lot of the fluid up in the side. Spray up in there, clean it. Make sure everything is clean and dry. That way when you drop it down and you go through the gears or you take it for a ride and you check the fluid, you can also look underneath to make sure there's no drips, no wet spots whatsoever, and your job is complete. You're done under here. Everything looks good. It's time to get it down on the ground. Now it's simply time to refill what you dropped out of the casing. If you're just doing a spill and fill, you're looking at about 4.5 quarts. There's still going to be some of the older transmission fluid in there. You can do a flush if you want to. You can, if money's no issue, you can fill it up and drive it and then do another spill and then fill. That's completely up to you to get it perfectly blue, that light blue color. If you changed all of the cartridges and the filter and you cleaned the filter, you're gonna have a little bit more of that drained out. I would check with the manufacturer as to exactly how much goes in to fill that casing and buy that amount and spill it in there. Simply find a funnel that fits in there and then comes up high enough, you know, that you don't have to squeeze it in there, deform it, and spill your fluid all over the place while you're trying to refill. Once you have it filled with fluid, or you're comfortable that you do, then start it up and run it through the gears. Go from park to reverse, park to neutral, park to drive, and then back and forth from park to neutral to drive, and let that transmission warm up. Or you can just simply go take it for a ride. Make sure you have reverse in that process. And then shut it down, and then you can check the fluid. And when it's warm, there is a cold and a hot line. I always like to check mine when it's hot. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but this one here, if I can get it to focus, is filled perfectly up right in between the hot line right there. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Again, every 20 to 30,000 miles, you could do a spill and fill. Every 60,000, 50, 60,000, do that cartridge and filter change. And some other tips and tricks. The CVT transmissions last longer in the lighter vehicles. This is a very light vehicle. The heavier that you get, the more strain and stress you put them under, and the belts and chains get stretched and the plastic guides wear down. And that's where the issues come in. If you have a lighter vehicle, just avoid the launch, start, and drive it as sensible as you possibly can. A launch takeoff is always hard on any vehicle, any engine and transmission, so every once in a while you have to do that if you're pulling out in traffic just to get out there. Some aggressive driving does need to be done sometime just to stay out of the way of traffic and stay out of harm. But when you can, baby it, avoid the launch, do these maintenance or preventive maintenance spill and fills and cartridge and filter changes, and your CVT will last longer than any out there, guaranteed. This has been Brian. Thank you for visiting the channel and hanging with me for a couple minutes out of the day. I truly enjoy your company, and I'll catch you in the next video.